Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown WWE main event and 205 Live results for the week of March, May 29th, 2020. Birthdays from May 28th, Kamala, 1950, Chaz, 1971, Seth Rollins, 1986, Joseph Connors, 1987. 29th birthdays, you got Pete Gas, 1970, Spice, Nitro Girl, 1973, Brian Kendrick, 1979, Nia Jax, 1984, Hornswoggle, 1986. Rounding out birthdays, May 30th, Jake Snake Roberts, 1955, No Way Jose, 1988. During the 83-week podcast, Eric Bischoff discussed his wife, Loree, appearing in Playboy in 2005. He admitted that he is blessed to be married to a woman who was featured in the magazine. Am I lucky? Am I fortunate? Have I been blessed? Of course I have, Bischoff said. Whether that qualifies me as the luckiest or most interesting man in the world, I don't know. Wouldn't go that far, but life doesn't suck. Bischoff noted how Loree had been a model since she was a kid, even being featured on Play-Doh cans. She was a model starting about 4 or 5 years old, Bischoff said. Her first modeling gig involved her being a little girl with Play-Doh on the cover of Play-Doh cans. From that point on, she went on as a child model, and throughout her grade school years and in her teen did more and more fashion work. Ended up doing some lingerie for Target and catalog type stores. She's never been bashful about her body or appearing in things that are a little provocative. Bischoff then discussed how the appearance happened. Loree learned about the issue and decided to send her photos in. It was when the Housewives show was hot and Playboy was looking for America's hottest housewives. I don't know how she saw the ad or became aware of it, but she saw the ad and said, "What the heck? I'll send in a couple of pictures from her portfolio," Bischoff recalled. She did it, and I thought it was cool, and when we were excited about it and proud of it. When the magazine came out, Hugh Hefner had a big party in LA, and we got to experience that Playboy lifestyle for a minute. While Loree appeared in the magazine, not many other WCW stars appeared in it other than Kimberly Page. Bischoff was asked about if Playboy ever contacted WCW about using some of their female talent for Playboy, just like WWE was going at the same time. I don't really know, Bischoff said. I wouldn't have been involved with it. That's not something that would have fallen on my plate in WCW. I was aware of it, certainly, but I don't think WCW drove that initiative, but I'm sure there was some contact. During an interview with Outkick the Coverage, Renee Young talked about the infamous Talking Smack moment between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Miz berated Bryan for retiring early that resulted in Bryan storming off the set. I mentioned sitting there, and it was when Miz was really getting in Bryan's face about how he can't wrestle anymore, really bringing him down. And Bryan was about to walk off the set, and I was like, am I supposed to say something? Do I jump in and stick up for Bryan? Young said. I didn't really know how to handle the situation because it was so real and it was so deep, the stuff that they were saying back and forth to each other. I was uncomfortably taking the moment. Obviously, you are aware that all these cameras are on you, but I didn't really know what the out was to before that. You just have to trust your instincts and stay in the moment and follow along to see what's going on. Those moments are so special when they happen that you have to present for them, I guess. Renee was then asked about if she would like to be a manager one day and who she would like to take under her wing. She revealed that she thought about pitching an idea about managing Elias. I would love to do that, Young said. is something that I've always wanted to dabble in. Before I got to WWE, my background was more in entertainment rather than being a broadcaster. So I think that's something I would always want to do. One person I thought for a second would be pitching a thing for Elias. I thought it would be really fun to be in his band, to be his band manager or something. Renee then talked about what else she would like to do with WWE outside the numerous amounts of things she has already done for the company. For wearing so many different hats, it feels like the only thing left unturned would be actually getting in the ring to do something, and I don't know if that's a great idea. Young stated, I got to slap The Miz once. I took a slap from Maurice, so I know what it feels like. Aside from that, I've not ring announced, but I don't think I'd be good at that. I was supposed to ring announce Tough Enough. Vince wanted me to, and I was like, I don't know how. I don't ring announce. Do I have to say their weight and where they're from? I would totally ruin it. Seeing how WWE is branching out and having other shows pop up on the network and different movies, that's something that really appeals to me. WWE filed trademark to WCW for merchandise used back on Monday, May 18th. The following use description was filed with the USPTO. Also filed trademark to Total Divas on May 18th. The following description was filed for the trademark. In other WWE trademark news, the company abandoned the trademark for a Rated R Superstar on Thursday, May 21st. The abandonment comes after WWE originally filed to trademark the nickname used by WWE Hall of Famer Edge back on Sunday, April 5th, which was day 2 of WrestleMania 36 when Edge made his in-ring singles return. Edge guest starred in the 5th episode of the 2nd season of Trailer Park Boys, the animated series, which was released on Netflix last Friday. He voices a character named Sledge, who is a pornographic parody of himself. Edge commented on his appearance on the show, writing on Twitter, from becoming friends with John Dunsworth on the set of Haven, I met the motley crew known as at Trailer Park Boys. What happens when we put our old Canuck brains together? A lot of weirdness. Season 2 of the animated series, streaming now on at Netflix. Hashtag Sledge, hashtag Cleasewood. Bray Wyatt announced on Twitter of the birth of his and JoJo's second child. And JoJo is now on Facebook as well. The former WWE Universal Champion, and she's going by JoJo Offerman, her maiden name. The former WWE Universal Champion revealed that baby girl's name is Hyrie Von Rotunda. JoJo also shared a photo on Instagram of her holding Hyrie. She captioned the photo, Hyrie Von Rotunda, I love you. Last year in May, the couple welcomed their son, Nash 6 Rotunda. Wrestling Inc. and myself send congratulations to both. And pictures at this link of the newest baby. Gulak has re-signed with WWE. So look for future matches with him and other wrestlers in WWE. And on the SmackDown brand, of course. Gulak was recently added back to the official WWE SmackDown roster on the WWE website. PW Insider reports that Gulak has come to terms for a new deal with WWE. It was revealed earlier this month that Gulak's WWE contract had expired after he was moved to the alumni roster on the WWE website. Gulak was reportedly in contract negotiations, but there was no word on how those talks were going. It was previously reported by Wrestling Observer Radio that Gulak had asked for a pay raise after he was moved to SmackDown from 205 Live, but that request was denied. It was also reported that WWE pulled their original contract offer, and all the talks stopped at that point. But it looks like those talks may have resumed, and he signed the new contract. WWE has announced that next Monday's Raw will feature a storyline retirement ceremony for Rey Mysterio. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think he's going to retire. I just think it's a melee prediction. for Seth Rollins. Mysterio has been feuding with Seth Rollins and suffered a storyline eye injury at the hands of the Messiah 2 weeks ago. There have been rumors of Ray's contract status, but that was reported previously, and Ray was not expected to leave the company. Rollins was still carrying around Ray's mask on this week's Raw, indicating that the feud will continue. On a related note, WWE also announced Rollins versus Aleister Black for next Monday's Raw. The Black versus Rollins feud is an extension of the Rollins versus Mysterio feud, which Humberto Carrillo is also involved with. Rollins has Murphy and Austin Theory on his side. NXT superstar Matt Riddle is reportedly headed to SmackDown brand. Also noted earlier, it was revealed on Monday's Raw that Riddle's main roster call-up is imminent. PW Insider now reports that multiple sources have confirmed that Riddle is scheduled for the call-up to the Blue brand. It was announced by Kurt Angle on the show. There has been plans to move Riddle to SmackDown since before WrestleMania 36, but those plans were put on hold coming out of that event. Talk finally pulling the trigger on Riddle's calling up started back up several weeks ago. Riddle's scheduled to finish up his NXT run soon. It remains to be seen if he will work his last NXT match during Wednesday's episode on the USA Network when he faces Timothy Thatcher in a cage fight with the WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle as special referee. Riddle vs. Thatcher feud was made after they dropped the NXT tag titles to Imperium earlier this month. Following tension between the two, they saw Thatcher walk out on Riddle during the match. On SmackDown, WWE began an angle where Jeff Hardy, apparently intoxicated, crashed his car outside the WWE Performance Center, injuring Elias in the process. While the show went on, Hardy was arrested and then released after passing the required sobriety test. So, he wasn't the one that did it. Elias was taken away in an ambulance, and earlier today, WWE provided a storyline injury update on his condition. WWE Digital has learned that Elias is in the hospital and suffered broken ribs and torn pectoral muscle after last night's hit-and-run attack. After initially being apprehended, WWE Digital reported last night that Jeff Hardy was released from custody by the Orlando police after successfully passing the required sobriety test. Hardy was absolved of the charges of public intoxication, driving under the influence, and the hit-and-run on Elias earlier. Stay tuned for more news on that. WWE social and digital platforms as the situation continues to develop. Also noted, Hardy dealt with public intoxication and DUI charges in real life after two separate incidents in 2019 where he was out due to injury, causing some controversy among fans, with WWE deciding to run with this story. He first got injured on his motorbike. When the bike came off of a hill, smack, shoot him up. Injury. Both Jeff and Elias were pulled from Intercontinental Championship tournament, which led to Battle Royal that Sheamus won. Thanks to a distraction from returning Jeff Hardy, Sheamus then lost to Daniel Bryan in the semis, setting up Bryan versus AJ Styles for the title in 2 weeks on SmackDown. Noted before, last night's SmackDown on Fox episode opened with a segment where an apparently intoxicated Jeff Hardy crashed his car. I think I posted that twice. Matt Hardy and wife Reby Hardy took to Twitter and commented on his brother's segment. After it aired, it was speculated that they were referring to WWE's segment with Jeff. Matt made it clear that he is happy to be working for AEW President and CEO Tony Khan and not WWE. Reby expressed anger in the segment as well. Matt wrote, "Just to reiterate, I'm happy to be working at AEW Wrestling at Tony Khan on Wednesdays. I'm throwing my TV out," Reby wrote shortly before his tweet. The fact that they may have been referring to the segment with Jeff apparently went over Khan's head as he responded to Matt's tweet with major praise for the pro wrestling veteran. "You're one of the greatest pros I've ever worked with across sports. What a privilege it is to spend Wednesdays with you. Thank you for everything you do for AEW, our fans and staff, and your fellow wrestlers weekly, as you not only lead by example, but are so generous with your time and mind. Khan wrote back to Hardy, who recently started with the company. Matt responded and thanked Khan for the opportunity, noting that he will give everything his absolute best. He also praised Khan for what he's created in AEW. Matt wrote, "Thanks for those kind words. You've created an amazing, positive, supportive environment that I am so proud to be part of. I'll give you, the talent, and every AEW Wrestling employee, my best across the board. Thank you for the opportunity to be that great pro." And Tony Khan, hashtag I'm with AEW. This week's SmackDown on Fox saw Sasha Banks defeat Alexa Bliss in singles action. Interesting note that this was Banks' first TV singles match win since November 8, 2019. SmackDown episode from England, which just happened to be Banks' defeating Nikki Cross. Banks' SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley will challenge Bliss and Cross for their tag team titles on next week's show. WWE NXT superstar Tahiti Miles picked up his first ever TV win for the company during last night's 205 live episode on the WWE Network. Miles defeated Danny Burch in singles action on the show, as Miles has worked a few Raw and NXT TV matches this year, and worked a handful of NXT Live event matches in 2019. His first and only win going into last night's show was November 7, 2019 NXT Live event win over Cal Bloom. Impact World Champion Tessa Blanchard did not work this week's Impact TV tapings in Nashville, Tennessee at Skyline Studios, according to PW Insider. Blanchard also missed last week's set of empty arena tapings due to being in Mexico lockdown and not traveling back to the United States, reportedly because of COVID-19. She has appeared by video in an interview a few weeks back. No word yet when Tessa will be back in action. It's believed that the company taped several weeks worth of Impact content this week, so she won't be on TV for quite a while. A tournament to determine the number one contender to Blanchard and her title will wrap on next Tuesday's Impact episode as Trey Miguel takes on Ace Austin. The main event opening video kicked off the show after WWE signature Bianca Belair makes her entrance and Tom Phillips and MVP check on commentary. This is the 400th episode of WWE main event. Ruby Riott makes her entrance. Bianca Belair versus Ruby Riott. They lock up. Riott locks in an elbow lock on Belair. Belair reverses it into a wrist lock on Riott. Riott stomps on the foot of Belair. Belair drives her shoulder into Riott in the corner. Belair hits an arm drag on Riott. Riott hits an STO of Belair. Riott pins Belair for a 2 count. Riott skins the turnbuckles. Belair catches Riott. Belair hits a modified glam slam onto the top turnbuckle on Belair. Belair hits the KOD finisher on Riott and pins for the win. A recap of SmackDown showed AJ Styles defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. Recap of Miz and John Morrison's Dirt Sheet segment from SmackDown was shown. Recap is shown of Universal Champion Braun Strowman defeating The Miz on SmackDown. Recap of Edge backstage promo from Raw was shown. Akira Tozawa and Shelton Benjamin make their entrance for their match. Tozawa crawls under Benjamin to avoid the lockup. Tozawa strikes Benjamin several times. Benjamin sends Tozawa to the ropes. Benjamin punches Tozawa. Tozawa eventually hits a spin kick on Benjamin. Tozawa briefly locks in a waist lock on Benjamin. Benjamin rolls forward and locks in an ankle lock on Tozawa. Tozawa rolls Benjamin up for a 2 count. Tozawa super kicks Benjamin. Tozawa slowly ascends to the turnbuckles. Benjamin hits a belly-to-belly suplex from off the top rope onto Tozawa. Benjamin hits his pay dirt finisher on Tozawa and pins Tozawa for the win. His first win in a while. A recap of MVP's VIP Lounge segment for Raw was shown. Recap of Raw was shown to close the show, featuring Street Profits, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins defeating MVP and Bobby Lashley by DQ. SmackDown opens up with Renee Young outside the PC Center in Orlando. She says a man dressed in a black shirt and black pants was involved in an accident, and Elias is being tended to by medics. A police officer on the scene says Jeff Hardy's rental car is the one there. We go to Kayla Braxton with Universal Champion Braun Strowman. Braun saw what happened and says a car drove by. Then there's a crash. The person ran away, and then he saw Elias down. Strowman hopes they find the person who did this to Elias. Hardy was struggling to get up. Officer asking him his name if he was the driver. Jeff was also asking if he was drinking. The officer says Jeff smells like bottles found in the car. Officer tries to tell Hardy he's being taken downtown, but WWE producers Jason Jordan and Jamie Noble come over to help as well. Jeff is confused and wants to know what is happening. Jeff sees Elias being loaded into an ambulance. He is still confused and demands to know what's happening. Jeff is placed in the police car and taken away, which the ambulance drive off with the sirens on. The crash car is shown, and people are outside looking concerned. Go to commercial. We come back. We got WWE producer Adam Pearce backstage with the locker room. He says Elias has been hit by a car, but his injuries are not life-threatening. But he can't compete against AJ Styles in the Intercontinental title tournament match tonight. A crew member walks up and tells Pearce that Jeff Hardy has been arrested. Sheamus sarcastically says, "What a shot." Pearce says this isn't the point, but Jeff also can't compete tonight against Daniel Bryan. Sheamus calls Hardy a junkie. AJ says it's not rocket science that he and Bryan should be the finals for the title. Bryan proposes that he and Styles pick opponents for tonight as a semifinal. Styles says that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's more back and forth until Sheamus agrees with Bryan. Sheamus trashes Hardy some more and says he will face Bryan tonight. King Corbin interrupts and says he will face Styles tonight. AJ says the guys making the noise are the ones that previously lost. There's more arguing among everyone. Jey Uso wants a piece of the action, even though his brother Jimmy Uso is hurt. Dolph Ziggler says that's not how this works. Everyone argues some more until Pearce announces a battle royal. The winner will face Bryan later, and then the winner of that match will face AJ for the title in 2 weeks. Pearce says the battle royal starts now, and everyone is ready. Bryan walks up to AJ and says, "This is really a good idea, isn't it?" AJ says, "Bryan really is an idiot." AJ walks off, goes back to commercial. 10-man battle royal for the spot in the Intercontinental title tournament. King Corbin, Shorty G, Drew Gulak, Jey Uso, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sheamus, Liz Dorado, Grand Metalik, and Cesaro. Then we are at the ring inside the PC Center. Now is a 10-man battle royal for a shot at the Intercontinental title tournament is underway. Michael Coleslaw and Corey Graves, the tattoo champion of the world, welcomes us. We see NXT developmental talents all around the arena. Of course, they got the 6-foot rule in play. They all been medically tested, presumably for COVID-19. Of course, just a temperature check. Drew Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura going at it. Cesaro and Liz Dorado trading shots. Sheamus works on Shorty G, of course. Jey Uso and King Corbin are in the corner. Dolph Ziggler almost sends Grand Metalik out. Cesaro presses Ziggler high in the air, but he hangs on. Metalik almost dumps Cesaro. Sheamus yells at Cole and taunts him. G takes advantage and tries to dump Sheamus. Lucha House Party double team Corbin now. Sheamus drops G and Uso. Corbin eliminates Lynch. First one eliminated. Gulak works on Corbin. Corbin eliminates Gulak to more boos. Sheamus works on Metalik. Uso rocks Cesaro, but gets dropped by Corbin. Nakamura works on G in the corner. Nakamura misses a high knee as G moves. G tries to dump Nakamura out. Cesaro sends Uso to the apron, but he hangs on. Corbin and Ziggler double team Metalik, but he takes them both down with a springboard elbow. Ziggler super kicks Metalik off of a counter. Then Corbin eliminated Metalik. Corbin and Ziggler appear to be on the same page momentarily, but Ziggler tries to eliminate Corbin from behind. Ziggler says he was just messing around. Corbin eliminates Ziggler. Corbin talks trash, but turns around to a super kick from Uso. Corbin has been eliminated. Go to commercial. Back to right, and it's down to 5. Sheamus, Uso, Cesaro, Nakamura, and G. Cesaro and Sheamus double team G. Then Uso. Sheamus tries to dump G. Nakamura works on Uso in the corner. G with an armbar on Sheamus, using the rope. G fights Sheamus off and hits a big tornado DDT from the corner. Uso super kicks Cesaro, Then Nakamura. G with a rolling liger kick to Cesaro in the corner. Uso follows up with a big shot to Cesaro in the corner. Nakamura and Uso trade counters. Nakamura drops Uso with an enziguri. G tries to eliminate Nakamura, but Cesaro makes a save. Cesaro rocks G with an uppercut. Cesaro tries to eliminate G, but he hangs on and fights back up. Cesaro knees him. G eliminates Cesaro. Cesaro's furious now, but he runs back into a forearm. Nakamura with a knee to G from behind. Nakamura with knees to G against ropes. Nakamura keeps control, but G catches him with a belly-to-belly suplex over the top rope. Nakamura's been eliminated. G, Uso, and Sheamus are the three left in the ring. Referee tried to keep Nakamura from going back in the ring. Cesaro takes advantage, coming from behind and tossing G to the floor. Referees didn't see it. G has been eliminated. Referees were dealing with Nakamura and didn't see. Uso and Sheamus are alone now. Uso strikes first, and they go at it. Uso with a big right hand. Sheamus dumps Uso to the apron, but he hangs on. Sheamus with a big forearm to the chest, but Uso hangs him over the top rope. Uso with a big kick from the apron. Uso goes to the top, but lands on his feet as Sheamus moves. Uso with a big kick to the jaw. Uso rocks Sheamus to the apron, but he hangs on. They both tangle on the apron. They trade shots on the apron, with Uso getting the upper hand. Sheamus catches a kick and rams Uso back into the ring post with the back of his head hitting first. Sheamus with a row kick to knock Uso off the apron for the win. After the match, Sheamus standing tall as he now has his second chance in the tournament. Sheamus poses in the corner and yells out as music hits. We got the replays. Coleslaw shows us updated Intercontinental title tournament brackets. AJ got a bye into the finals. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan will take place later as the semifinals. Still to come, special tag team summit edition of A Moment of Bliss with the New Day. Sonya Deville's backstage warming up. She recalls dominating Mandy Rose last week and says the same fate awaits Lacey Evans this week. Evans has appeared behind her now. Deville continues looking at the camera and says, for Evans to put her hair up and square up, Evans shoves Deville from behind and sends her to the ground. Evans talks some trash to Deville and heads to the ring for their match. As we go to commercial. Back for the ring, referee is in the middle of the ring. Shorty G argues with Cesaro and Shinsuke. Says he was robbed. Cesaro talks some trash and says he's not fit to be Intercontinental title. Cesaro continues to put G down and mentions a potential match to show him a lesson. Cesaro looks at Nakamura and laughs, but G rocks Cesaro and sends him to the ground. G says he accepts Cesaro's challenge. G walks off with Cesaro on the ground. We go back to the ring now, and we get Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville. Lacey comes out first. We see what happened last Friday. Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler putting down Otis and Mandy. Deville is also out to the ring to face Evans. The bell rings, and they psych each other up. Evans taunts her, and Deville misses a takedown. More stalling, talking trash early on. Evans gets down on all fours and offers to Deville have an easy chance at her. Deville comes over and they go at it. Evans with a first takedown. They tangle on the mat and we have a stalemate. They lock up and Deville drops Evans with a stiff shoulder. Deville shows off some to mostly boost. Deville puts her hair up and is ready to fight, taunting Evans. Evans kicks up. Deville has challenged Evans to put her hair up and square up. And she does. Evans rocks Deville and stuns her. Evans taunts Deville now and mentions Mandy. Deville is upset. She drops Evans with a big right hand. Deville launches Evans into turnbuckles now. Deville takes it to the corner and rocks Evans in the face after more trash talking. Evans stands on Evans' hair as the referee counts. Deville keeps Evans down with a kick and covers for a 2 count. Evans with a takedown and some kicks. Evans plants Deville face first and does a gator roll. Evans trips Deville in the apron and works her over. Evans pulls Deville down in the apron. Now as the referee counts, Deville comes back with a big takedown on the floor. Then mounts Evans with a big strikes on the mat. They continue brawling on the floor as the referee counts them out. Double count out. After Bell, Evans keeps fighting and working DeVille over. DeVille fights back, but Evans sends her ribs first into the corner of the announce table. Evans goes back into the ring and talks trash, telling DeVille to bring her butt back in the ring. DeVille picks up a headset from the announce table and says she will fight Evans on her own terms. Evans' music hits as she stands tall in the ring, taunting DeVille as she heads up the ramp to the back. We get a viewer discretion advised disclaimer before the next backstage promo from the Forgotten Sons. Jackson Riker, Steve Cutler, and Wesley Blake. Riker and Cutler introduce themselves, referencing their time in the service. Blake says he's the one who appreciates what they did to serve our country. They go on, and Blake says they will no longer turn the cheek after what was done to them. The blood was on their hands before. Now it's only fair. Your blood is on their hands. They pose and put their fists on their hearts at the same time, ending the promo. We also we see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the New Day backstage together. They all walk off to the ring. Cross told Bliss she had a surprise her before the New Day walked off. Back to commercial. Back to the ring. Out comes WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to the ring for a special Tag Team Championship Summit edition of their Moment of Bliss segment. Bliss welcomes everybody. Cross is so excited for their guests, and Bliss agrees. Bliss introduces tonight's guests, and out comes SmackDown Tag Team Champions The New Day, Big E and Kofi. Bliss welcomes them to the summit, where they will scope out the competition. Cross has their present she's been waiting to give them. She gives Big E the box, and she has Scottish pancakes in there. Cross says she made them using her grandmother's special recipe. Kofi and Big E also have a gift. They mix up Bliss a cup of coffee with the ingredients from their gear, and she's not really thrilled. Cross encourages her, but she says she will save it for later. Bliss goes on and asks the New Day if any tag team stand out to them. Kofi talks about how the Forgotten Sons stand out, and they know that they have to keep the eye on the group. Big E says he knows Bliss and Cross have been mixing it up with the Iconics, but he wants to know which SmackDown teams. The music interrupts Big E's who, as Sasha Banks and SmackDown Tag Team Champions Bayley come out. Bayley says there are some champions in the ring right now, but she doesn't see the best SmackDown Tag Team. Banks doesn't either, but now she does as they enter the ring, and Banks throws her jacket at Bliss. Cross holds her back. More talk between the two teams. Bliss points out that Banks is the only one in the ring with a title. Bayley calls Bliss Charlotte Jr. for trying to start trouble between the two. Bayley praises Banks. This leads to Banks and Bayley saying they can win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles back. Bliss tells them to name a time and a place. Bayley says Banks is about to beat Bliss right now. Banks doesn't look so sure about this and complains about how she's not dressed to compete. Bayley promises to go get her stuff from the bus, but Bliss turns around to Bliss drop kicking her. The New Day pops for the drop kick as we go back to commercial. And the match is up. Sasha versus Alexa. Back for the break. Cole confirms Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for your main event. Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks are in the ring as the bell rings. Nikki Cross and Bayley are on the commentary. Banks gets the upper hand on Bliss to start, but Bliss catches a kick and rolls her up for a 2 count. Bliss for the takedown and a roll up for another 2 count. Banks rocks Bayley, but gets rolled up again. Banks for the 2 count of her own. Banks catches a kick, but Bliss dodges her comeback kick and strikes her in the face. Bliss taunts Banks. Bliss takes Banks down and focuses on her arm now. Banks drops double knees and backflips the knees again. Banks kicks out at 2. Bayley wants Cross to calm down some at the announce table. Banks unloads on Bliss in the corner now, using her double knees for a close 2 count. Banks mounts Bliss with right hands in the corner. Banks for the 2 count and another quick pin attempt. Banks stops away in the corner as the referee warns her. Banks takes Bliss back down, and hits a Meteora in the middle of the ring, but Bliss still kicks out. Banks drops Bliss and yells out at Cross, who is loudly cheering Bliss on. Bayley yells at Cross to sit down. Graves pokes at Coleslaw. We're losing control at the announce table. Cross and the crowd rallies for Bliss as she fights up and out. Banks counters and hits a backbreaker for a close 2 count. Banks with more offense, trash talk in the corner. Banks rocks her in the face and mounts more offense coming out of the corner. Bliss slams Banks down on her face. Bliss with a clothesline, strikes and more offense to Banks now. Bliss with a drop kick and more. Banks counters and sends Bliss face first into the turnbuckles. Banks with a Meteora in the corner and a double knees for another close pin attempt. Bliss counters with a roll up for her own. More back and forth. Bliss levels Banks with a right hand. Bliss goes to the top for Twisted Bliss. Bayley jumps on the apron. Cross jumps up to stop her. Bliss is distracted as Bliss and Banks go at it. This leads to Banks getting the upper hand and roll up on Bliss to win. After the match, Bayley joins Banks to celebrate as Bliss sits up in the ring. We got a replays and his music hits. So to come, we'll look at how Otis and Mandy Rose got away earlier today to celebrate what looks like a budding love story. Also, an update on the breaking news story about Elias and Jeff Hardy. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we'll see what happened with Jeff Hardy and Elias earlier, which pulled them from the tournament for the vacant Intercontinental titles. Coleslaw hypes Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus as the tournament semifinals later. Cesaro versus Shorty G. We go back to the ring. Out first comes Cesaro. Shinsuke Nakamura is with him. Out next comes Shorty G as Greg Hamilton does ring introduction. The bell rings and G launches at Cesaro with 2 straight rolling kick attempts. G keeps control and shocks Cesaro with a fast offense, focusing on his big left arm. Cesaro comes back with a huge clothesline to turn G inside out. Cesaro with a stiff leg drop for a 2 count. Cesaro drops G with an uppercut now. Cesaro goes for a gut-wrench suplex, but is blocked. Cesaro overpowers and slams G for a 2 count. Cesaro keeps G grounded in the middle of the ring now as G runs the ropes and drop kicks the hurt knee out again. Cesaro catches the flying kick in the corner and turns it into a big power bomb. Cesaro covers for another close pin attempt. More back and forth. Cesaro levels G with a huge uppercut for another 2 count, but G continues to kick out just in time. Cesaro goes for the gotch neutralizer now. G counters the neutralizer, but gets rolled up. But Cesaro rolls through. G kicks out 2 times in a row. Cesaro catches G's rolling kick again and goes for another powerbomb. But G counters that and rolls Cesaro up once again. This time for the win in the middle of the ring. After the match, G heads out as his music plays. Cesaro is shocked at the loss. We got a replay. G celebrates and makes his exit as they have a few more words. So to come second, a look at Otis and Mandy having a date at the pool. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we see Mandy Rose, Otis, and his Money in the Bank briefcase at the pool. Mandy is so excited for their day alone. Otis pours some champagne for he and his peach, as he calls her. They toast to alone time for the 2 of them. Otis wants to hit the water and asks if Rose wants to. She says no because she's tired and wants to take a nap. Otis heads over to the pool and Rose puts her sunglasses down for a nap. We're apparently in Mandy's dream now. She looks over and sees Otis testing the water temperature with his toe. She looks at him again like he's the hottest man alive. Otis comes out of the pool, walking like he's some supermodel. She blows him a kiss in her dream. He rips off his shirt and they start kissing. Mandy watching this, eating a peach of her own, is turned on. We snap back to reality and Otis hits a big cannonball in the pool, soaking Rose with the water. He asks if she was sleeping, and she says, kind of. He apologizes. She says she was having an amazing dream. She joins him in the pool, and they start making out to end the segment. Hall of Famer Kurt Angle backstage. He says, it's good to be back on SmackDown. After he was fired just recently, a couple weeks ago. He says he used to run SmackDown and names guys like Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, Undertaker, and others. Angle also plugs Randy Orton versus Hall of Famer Edge at Backlash. Enough about the past, he says. Angle is here to talk about the future. He's here to reveal the next face of SmackDown, who he's gotten to know and got to know more when he officiated the WWE NXT cage fight this past Wednesday, which Triple H Thatcher won. Angle introduces a video package on Matt Riddle, and the video shows clips of him now. Riddle's pre-recorded promo mentions how he's pretty laid back and chill, but he has fought all of his life and can crank it up with the flip of a switch. Riddle has defeated all kinds of bros and won in all kinds of rings and done it all without wearing shoes. Bro. Kelly Braxton backstage. She says, we're all excited for Matt Riddle's arrival. But Sheamus interrupts for their interview. He mentions Jeff Hardy and Riddle and says why they get all the hype. He gets results. Sheamus says that's why he won the Battle Royal and will enjoy hitting the brogue on Daniel Bryan tonight. He's going for the one title he hasn't won in WWE and won't let someone like AJ Styles or Bryan stand in his way as he becomes the Grand Slam champion. Sheamus goes on about leaving a trail of bodies in his wake as there is no room for the weak. Bryan walks up and gets in Sheamus' face. They face off and he taunts Bryan. Bryan stomps on Sheamus' foot and walks off. Sheamus is furious. Coleslaw plugs the match. As we go to commercial. Back to the ring, we get a video of the announcers plugging the Miz Morrison versus Universal Champion Braun Strowman in the middle in a handicap match of Backlash. Miz and Morrison will have a special warning for Braun next Friday. Also announced for next week, there's a title match with Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross defending against Sasha Banks and Bayley. Semifinals for Intercontinental title tournament, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. We go to the ring for tonight's main event as Daniel Bryan was out first. The winner of this match will face AJ in the tournament finals for the vacant WWE Intercontinental title in 2 weeks. Sheamus is out next. The bell rings and they go at it to start. Big shots from both opponents early on. Bryan unloads in the corner, but Sheamus blasts him coming out of the corner with a big clothesline. Sheamus talks trash and beats Bryan around, keeping him down. Sheamus grounds Bryan and the referee warns him. Some of the trainees boo Sheamus as he keeps Bryan down. Sheamus with uppercuts in the corner now. Bryan counters out of the corner and ducks a clothesline. Bryan drops Sheamus with a knee. Sheamus is right back up, but Bryan knocks him right back to the floor. Bryan runs the ropes and nails a suicide dive. Bryan tells Sheamus to come on, and as we go to commercial. Back from the break, they're going at it. Sheamus unloads with big elbows, beating Bryan down with them and continuing to hit him with more elbows and knees. The referee checks on Bryan, and trainees boo Sheamus as he poses. Celtic Warrior is all smiles. He goes back to beating on Bryan, sending him out to the floor. Sheamus follows and sends Bryan into the barrier. Sheamus taunts Cole and mocks Bryan's yes chant as the trainees break out a no chant. Bryan makes it back in the ring. Sheamus comes off the top with a flying clothesline, but Bryan still kicks out it too. Sheamus continues yelling at Bryan, taking credit for the yes movement after his quick win over Bryan at WrestleMania 28. Bryan fights back and unloads with offense. Sheamus counters and applies the cloverleaf submission in the middle of the ring. Bryan makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. The referee counts as Sheamus keeps it locked in for a few extra seconds. Bryan fights back from the apron now, hanging Sheamus up on the top rope. Bryan goes to the top rope, but Sheamus runs over to the corner. Road kicks the legs out from under Bryan. Sheamus climbs up for a superplex, but Bryan resists. Sheamus with a shot to the ribs, but Bryan is still blocking the superplex. Hitting Sheamus in his own ribs, Bryan knocks Sheamus to the mat. Bryan follows up with a big muscle drop kick. Bryan looks to make a comeback as the trainees rally for him now. Bryan with a yes kick while Sheamus is on his knees. The trainees chant yes again, but Sheamus ducks the roundhouse kick. Bryan blocks the crucifix and rolls Sheamus up for a 2 count. Bryan is still working on the arms. Sheamus powers up and drops Bryan with a white noise for a close 2 count in the middle of the ring. Sheamus limps over to Bryan and sends him into the corner. Sheamus with another uppercut in the corner. Sheamus blitzes Bryan, but it's countered. Bryan drops Sheamus face first in the turnbuckle. Bryan keeps control and hits a running missile drop kick in the corner. He charges again, but Sheamus levels Bryan with a huge double axe handle smash. Turning him inside out, Sheamus calls for the bro kick, and he waits for Bryan to get up. Jeff Hardy comes walking down the ramp to ringside, distracting Sheamus. Bryan takes advantage and drops Sheamus with a flying knee strike. Bryan covers for the pin and the win, and gets the title shot. Number 1 contender, whatever. After the match, Furious Hardy hits the ring and attacks Sheamus. Jeff beats on Sheamus, sending him retreating from the ring and up the ramp to the back. Jeff stands tall and claps as his music starts back up. We get a look at the updated tournament brackets. Bryan versus AJ is official for 2 weeks from now, and your winner will capture the vacant Intercontinental title. We get a replay of the finish, and now announcers wonder what happened with Hardy because the last time we saw him, he was being arrested. Jeff claps and poses in the ring, and SmackDown goes off the air. With a look at 2 of the female trainees doing Jeff's signature dance to his music. 205 Live results. It's believed that developmental trainees were used as fans again in the crowd as they were on another WWE show this week, which would be 205 Live. Looks like 205 Live will continue airing 30-minute episodes this week. It begins airing on the WWE Network at 10 p.m. as soon as SmackDown goes off the air. And full announcement of the show. Tyler Breeze battles Tony Nese and more on 205 Live. Tune in to 205 Live every night after SmackDown. While one half of the hottest tag team in the WWE takes on promising underdog. Breeze may have come up short in last week's barn buster against Isaiah Scott, but he won't have to wait long for redemption. When he faces Tony Nese, the premier athlete has had his own issues with Swerve and figures to want to prove that he can beat anyone that Scott can. As if that wasn't enough motivation for the former Cruiserweight champion, he can also gain retribution. After falling to Prince Pretty in his 205 Live debut in January, the Brit Arm Brawlers, Danny Burch, will also be in action when he challenges Performance Center standout Hootie Miles. Miles impressed 2 weeks ago in the first 205 Live action, pushing Breeze to the limit, but he's still seeking his first victory on the Purple brand. Meanwhile, Burch and Loree have been on a tear, and a singles victory with only help as they set their sights on Imperium and the NXT Tag Team Championship. Don't miss 2 exciting bouts, 205 Live. Byron Saxton, Corey Graves welcomes us to another edition of 205 Live from the PC. Tyler Breeze heads down to the ring for the opening contest. He'll be taking on Tony Nese. Breeze versus Tony Nese. Tie up. Nese breaks free. Poses for the crowd, which is nothing but Russell's second tie up. The men struggle for a position. Breeze forces Nese into the corner. The referee counts, forcing a break, hammerlock, and a snapmare by Breeze. He transitions into a chin lock, hits a quick leg drop for an early advantage. Sunset flip countered by Nese. He nails Breeze with a huge roundhouse kick. To take control, he stomps Breeze down before slamming him hard to the mat. Early pinfall, only 1 count. Nese traps Breeze in his signature body scissor lock. Breeze manages to move to half guard and land a few hands. But Nese slows him down by pulling his neck over the ropes. Nese misses a springboard moonsault. Breeze builds some momentum with a flurry of strikes. Corner lariat. Breeze comes off the ropes and gets a leg sweep by Nese. Nese goes for a moonsault again. Hits for a near fall. Breeze fires right back with a kick to the midsection. He nearly wins the match. With a big ending, Breeze climbs. Nese surprises him with a jumping palm strike. He goes for the running Nese, but Breeze slides to the outside and slams Nese's leg off the ring post. Back inside, Breeze applies a single leg crab. Nese is in trouble. He makes it to the ropes. Breeze tries a German suplex. Nese lands on his feet and connects with a standing double stomp. Now Nese climbs up top. Breeze lures him in with a spine buster and a Uranagi. Coverage only gets a 2. Nice eventually hits a running Nice for the win. Commentary telling us that Danny Burch would be taking on Tahuti Miles in our next following after the commercial break. Preview for Randy Rose and Randy Orton and Edge a showdown for a Backlash. Highlights from Wednesday's NXT on USA are shown. Jake Maverick picking up the win and Kushida over Kushida and Jake Atlas to move to the final round of the NXT Cruiserweight Tournament. He faces El Hijo Fantasma next week. Tahuti Miles was out first, followed by Danny Burch. Your main event. Burch goes for a grapple, but Miles shows off his early speed by dodging it. Tie up, Miles throws Burch into the ropes. This leads to Burch chasing Miles out of the ring. Miles takes his time getting back inside and tries to get inside of Burch's head. On the second tie-up, Miles picks Burch's ankle and walks over him. Burch hasn't had enough. He slaps Miles hard and traps him in an aggressive headlock. Huge right hand to Miles' face, followed by a huge shoulder block. Miles tries for a Luthez press, but Burch counters and slams him into the mat. Burch picks Miles up just to drop him with an uppercut. Burch lays into Miles with a stiff chop. Miles dumps Burch to the outside. As Burch tries to jump back in, Miles drop kicks him to the floor to take control. Back inside, Miles mounts Burch with a ground and pound. He stops Burch down in the corner and sets him up. Neck breaker. Miles with a headlock. Fans, wrestlers, trying to get Burch back in the match. Miles slows to come back with another neck breaker. Burch manages to string a few maneuvers together, including a missile drop kick from the second rope. Huge jumper suplex followed by a standing lariat by Burch. Miles rolls to ringside to try and recover, but Burch goes right after him and tosses him back inside. Miles ducks a lariat and catches Burch in the schoolboy pin. Got him. Miles wins by pinfall. Burch argues with the referee, but his decision has been made. Miles celebrates at the top of the entrance ramp. That's the show, my friends, and that's my video for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'm in. You don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.